how the game came about. I realized that working with him on decoding, which was absolutely necessary, was not going to set him up in all the ways he needed to be set up to recall what happens in school. So this was a kid who was attentive, listening, but when he left school, many of the items that stick things in our head, the vocabulary items, they seem to like fall out of a sieve onto the floor, like the trash that needs to be cleaned up, and he would come home. And what he was learning in school was largely being left behind. That's what I learned when he came in that day. And I sat there almost like an explosion had happened, because I realized that I could teach him to read, or maybe that was going to be difficult because I wasn't yet there, but that when he could read, what was going to be there in his mind as background knowledge and vocabulary, and how was I going to help him stick words, because they weren't sticking. He's a learner. He loves this stuff. But he's not doing something that typical learners do. He's not saying it in his mind. New word, you almost like feel your mouth forming immediately because you want it. You want that word. You know that to get it to stick, you've got to say it. It's like a digestion process. That's what all of us, there's some so one does that unconsciously to take in new words. One starts at this age to do that. When mommy says, "Oh yes, that's a Siamese cat," Siamese, unconscious. The kid says Siamese. It's like, and it's almost like if you're language typical or language talented, you tend to do that more. So you pick up more. Parents don't even think about it. They think, they don't teach their kids to repeat. Maybe they do some, but they find that the kids just do it. Kids with language-based learning disabilities do it less. It's like something doesn't trigger them to do that. It's like a strategy, an unconscious strategy to take in language that they underuse. And so what we need to do, whether we make a game or what, is that we need to activate that strategy and inform the kid that will get it into your mind. And so say it to yourself, say it so that you will remember it. Even if you don't have a game, it's an important aspect of our special education teaching and what we can teach regular educators. And I said, okay, I want him to attend to these labels. And I want him to practice pulling them up. So how can I do that in a way that's non-boring, that he could play a lot, that he could take home and play, that he might take to school and play? And I made up this game. for every target, there is a group of cards that go with it that are its family. But let's see, let's just look at these to see. The Earth moves in blank around the sun. The Earth moves in
Orbit.
the first word you said. Good, yes, so that's obviously a family card there, all right? So if you pulled this card, you would take orbit, and what you would do with it is you would put it on top. So we can all see orbit. We would, if we put it underneath, it would be lost. I didn't know. Well, what pile is that? What word do you have? What pile are you working on? So, but you don't have orbit yet. Now, would you mix these up while I mix these up? So the game has the target sitting there and a pile, and it's so simple. I pick, I match, you pick. You match. One big rule. When you match, you must speak. No playing this game silently. I've taught this to kids, and they will play, and they'll start out speaking, and then they'll just play, not saying it aloud. It's like amazing. It's almost like it's more efficient. You can play without speaking, but the whole point is to rehearse it aloud. Oh, you get to be first. Go ahead.
The Earth is a planet.
Okay. So you said the card, and you said the target, right? That was exactly what you needed to do. The path a small world takes around a larger one. That's interesting. The path a small world takes around a larger one. That's an orbit. Okay, so you're working on planet, I'm working on orbit. Your turn.
Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn are planets.
Okay, now what do you do? That's right.